Gilmore Girls is an American comedy drama series created by Amy Sherman-Palladino, starring Lauren Graham and Alexis Bledel. On October 5, 2000, the series debuted on the WB to widespread critical acclaim and remained a tentpole to the WB until it was cancelled in its seventh season, ending on May 15, 2007 on the CW. The entire series has been released on DVD, as well as on iTunes. The show follows single mother Lorelai Gilmore and her daughter, also named Lorelei but who prefers to be called Rory, living in the fictional town of Stars Hollow, Connecticut. This is a town filled with colorful characters, which is located approximately 30 minutes from Hartford, Connecticut. Ambition, education, and work constitute part of the series' central concerns, telling Lorelei's story from pregnant teen runaway and high school dropout to co-owner and manager of the Dragonfly Inn. Rory's transition from public school to the prestigious Chilton is similarly followed, exploring her ambition to study at an Ivy League college and to become a foreign correspondent. The show's social commentary manifests most clearly in Lorelei's difficult relationship with her wealthy, appearance-obsessed parents, Emily and Richard Gilmore, and in the interactions between the students at Chilton, and later, Yale University. Gilmore Girls is known for its fast-paced dialogue filled with pop culture references. The show earned several award nominations, winning one Emmy Award. It was also critically acclaimed as it placed number 32 on Entertainment Weekly's New TV Classics list, and was listed as one of Time magazine's all-time 100 TV shows in 2007. Production. Development. The show is set in the fictional town of Stars Hollow, Connecticut. Amy Sherman-Palladino, the show's creator, drew inspiration for Stars Hollow while she made a trip in Washington, Connecticut where she stayed in an inn, the Mayflower Inn, which she found beautiful. She was amazed at how the people of the town knew each other very well, and by the next morning of her stay, the dialogue of the pilot was written. She explained, "If I can make people feel this much of what I felt walking around this fairy town, I thought that would be wonderful. At the time I was there, it was beautiful, it was magical, and it was feeling of warmth and small-town camaraderie. There was a longing for that in my own life, and I thought that's something that I would really love to put out there." The show's pace is inspired by Katharine Hepburn's Spencer Tracy films. The pilot episode of Gilmore Girls received financial support from the Script Development Fund of the Family-Friendly Programming Forum, which includes some of the nation's leading advertisers, making it one of the first network shows to reach the air with such funding. In 2003, the WB planned a spin-off called Windward Circle, featuring character Jess Mariano, in which Jess gets to know his estranged father, Jimmy, and is befriended by California skateboarders. However, the network cancelled the show before it aired, citing high production costs to shoot on location in Venice Beach. Gilmore Girls Season 3 episode Here Comes the Sun was effectively a backdoor pilot for the unaired spin-off. Writing and filming, as signaled by its tagline Life's Short. Talk Fast, Gilmore Girls is known for its fast-paced dialogue filled with pop culture references. Much of the dialogue is peppered with references to film, television shows, music, literature and celebrity culture. The relative obscurity of some of these allusions resulted in the production of Gilmoreisms booklets included by the WB in the DVD sets of the first 4 seasons. Subtitled The 411 on many of the show's witty and memorable wordplays and pop culture references, the booklets also contain comments from the show creators. Gilmore Girls also relied on a master shot filming style, in which a scene is filmed to frame characters and their dialogue together within a long and uninterrupted, single take. Often illustrated through another method regularly employed on the show, the walk and talk. A special stage was made of plaster and Celotex for the scenes during which Rory is at Yale, which were based on Calhoun College. Her visit at Yale to decide which university she should choose was filmed at Pomona College. Music. Iconic for its distinct musical score consisting of melodic la-las, Gilmore Girls' score was composed by singer-songwriter Sam Phillips throughout its entire run. For the score's instrumental arrangement, Phillips primarily used her own voice, an acoustic guitar, and on occasion included violin, drums, piano and electric guitar as well. In crafting the sound of the show, creator Amy Sherman-Palladino requested the music to sound very connected to the girls themselves, almost like an extension of their thoughts. And if they had music going in their head during a certain emotional thing in their life, if they were real people, this would be the music that was going on. Sherman-Palladino also stresses how she thinks that is what elevated the show. Because music wasn't a unregistered trademark wasted element in the show. Everything was trying to say a little something, add a little something to it. Music also plays a large part in the show as a frequent topic of conversation between characters and in its appearance and scenes themselves. The musical tastes of most of the main and recurring characters are revealed at some point, and the two leads have notoriously eclectic but discriminating tastes. Both mother and daughter dislike the nondescript jazz played at a baby shower, sculpt a snowman into paragraph RK's image, and proclaim Metallica a great band. In fact, the first conversation between Lorelei and Rory in the premiere episode, at Luke's Diner, involves the whereabouts of Macy Gray's debut album On How Life Is. Lorelei famously likes 80s music including the Bangles, XTC, and the Go-Go's, and her old bedroom at her parents' home has Duran Duran posters on the walls. Rory is often shown listening to alternative bands, like Pixies, Sonic Youth, Belle and Sebastian and Franz Ferdinand, and expresses her liking for PJ Harvey and distaste for Smashing Pumpkins. Rory also swaps CDs with her mother, and credits her with introducing her to new books and music throughout her life, and her address is Chilton's valedictorian. Rory's best friend Lane is a music enthusiast, and her list of musical influences runs to 5 pages when she writes her Drummer Seeks rock band Wildad, which included the Ramones and Jackson Browne. Lane eventually forms her own band, Hep Alien, an anagram of the Gilmore Girls producer, Helen Pye's, name. The band plays rock with various influences, and Sebastian Bach, formerly of Skid Row, appears as Gil, Hep Alien's talented guitarist. Various musical acts make guest appearances on the show, from the Bangles, Sonic Youth, the Sparks and the Shins to Carole King, who re-recorded her 1971 song, Where You Lead as a duet with her daughter Louise Goffin for the Gilmore Girls theme song. Grant Lee Phillips appears in at least one episode per season as the town's troubadour, singing his own songs and covers. Lorelei names her dog Paul Anka, who later appears in her dream sequence in the season's 6th episode The Real Paul Anka. Though she only appears on screen in one episode, much of the non-diegetic score is composed and performed by Sam Phillips. In 2002, a soundtrack to Gigi was released by Rhino Records, entitled Our Little Corner of the World, Music from Gilmore Girls. The CD booklet features anecdotes from show producers Amy Sherman-Palladino and Daniel Palladino about the large part music has played in their lives. Change of network and cancellation. In April 2006, it was announced that Amy Sherman-Palladino and her husband Daniel could not come to an agreement with the CW, the new network that resulted from a merge between UPN and the WB. They said in an official statement, "Despite our best efforts to return and ensure the future of Gilmore Girls for years to come, we were unable to reach an agreement with the studio and are therefore leaving when our contracts expire at the end of this season. Our heartfelt thanks go out to our amazing cast, hard-working crew and loyal fans. We know that the storylines from this season will continue into the next, and that the integrity of the show will remain long after we leave Stars Hollow." David S. Rosenthal, who had already worked on the show as a writer and producer, replaced them. On June 11, 2012, while being interviewed for her new show Bunheads, creator Amy Sherman-Palladino reflected on the contract dispute and her own departure in an interview with Vulture, saying, "It was a botched negotiation. It really was about the fact that I was working too much. I was going to be the crazy person who was locked in my house and never came out. I heard a lot of Amy Duas and a unregistered trademark need a writing staff because she and her husband Dan Palladino write everything. I thought, that a unregistered trademark a great mentality on your part, but if you want to keep the show going for 2 more years, let me hire more writers. By the way, all this shit we asked for? They had to do it anyway when we left." They hired this big writing staff and a producer-director on stage. That unregistered trademark what bugged me the most. They wound up having to do what we'd asked for anyway, and I wasn't unregistered trademark there. On May 3, 2007, the CW announced that the series would not be renewed. According to Variety, money was a key factor in the decision, with the parties involved not able to reach a deal on salaries for the main cast members. Other issues, such as number of episodes and production dates, may have also played a role. Creator Amy Sherman-Palladino has expressed an interest in pursuing a Gilmore Girls film. Lauren Graham has noted that a lot of fans were disappointed with how the series ended, and commented on the possibility of a follow-up movie. On September 15, 2010, Lauren Graham told Vanity Fair that a Gilmore Girls movie is a definite possibility. People with power, people who could actually make it happen, are talking about it. She stated the same thing in March 2013 through her Twitter account in the wake of companion show Veronica Mars earning Kickstarter funding for their film, saying it would be Sherman-Palladino's call for a film. Cast and characters. The seasons, during which each actor has been included in the main cast are marked in black. When a starring actor has also appeared as a guest star in other seasons, this is marked in gray, with the number of guest appearances noted in italics. A white square indicates the actor does not appear in the season. Main cast, additional main cast, the following characters have been promoted to main character status since season 2. All additional main cast are only credited in episodes in which they appear. In the second episode of season 1, Sean Gunn played a character named Mick, who worked for a telephone company as a DSL installer. Gunn did not return as Mick, but was given a part as Kirk. Also in the beginning of season 1 Mick, or Kirk was new to Stars Hollow, not knowing who Miss Patty was, but later is known to have grown up in Stars Hollow, like when he talks about having books knocked out of his hands as a 7th grader by Luke. Recurring cast, in the 21st episode of season 3, Sherilyn Fenn played a character named Sasha, the girlfriend of Jess Mariano's estranged father. Fenn did not return as Sasha, but was given a part as Luke's daughter's mother, Anna Nardini, in seasons 6 and 7. Episodes. Premise: the pilot of Gilmore Girls sets up the premise of the show and a number of its recurrent themes as we learn that Lorelai became pregnant with Rory at age 16, but chose not to marry the father, Christopher Hayden. Instead, she leaves her disappointed parents in Hartford, Connecticut for Stars Hollow, and has had only irregular contact with them ever since. Later episodes reveal that Lorelai and the infant Rory were taken in by Mia, owner of the Independence Inn, where Lorelai eventually progressed from maid to executive manager. In the pilot, Rory, who is about to turn 16, has been accepted to Chilton Preparatory School in order to pursue her dream of studying at Harvard University. Lorelai, unable to afford Chilton's tuition, strikes a bargain with her parents for a loan to cover the tuition in exchange for an agreement that every Friday night she and Rory will join Emily and Richard for dinner at the senior Gilmores. The tensions between Lorelai and her parents are central to the series, and the close relationship Rory develops with her grandparents serves to underscore the choices Lorelai made at Rory's age to leave their privileged world and follow her own path. Which path Rory chooses and whether she re-enters that world is similarly explored. Lorelai's romantic life. Lorelai's various romantic entanglements also play a role in the show from the start. Her first relationship involves Max Medina, Rory's English teacher, who becomes briefly engaged to Lorelai. She also has short relationships with a divorced man named Alex and her father's business partner and childhood friend Jason Stiles, with whom she breaks up after Jason and her father have a falling out in their business. She also has an on-again off-again relationship with Rory's father, Christopher, which becomes even more complicated after Chris and his girlfriend Sherry have a daughter, Georgia. However, Lorelai's relationship with local diner owner Luke Danes is a constant throughout. It is a playful, close friendship until the end of season 4, when the two finally become romantically involved. Lorelai's disapproving parents encourage Christopher to win Lorelai back, which results in a brief breakup between Lorelai and Luke. Despite this, at the end of season 5, Luke and Lorelei become engaged. They split at the end of season 6 when Luke discovers that he has a 12-year-old daughter, April. After Luke doesn't respond to Lorelei's ultimatum to elope, she spends the night with Christopher. In season 7, Lorelei and Christopher impulsively get married on a trip to France. But after Christopher realizes that Luke and Lorelei still have feelings for one another, they end their marriage. In the final episode of the final season, Luke and Lorelei reconcile after Luke organizes a town farewell party for the graduating Rory. The final scene of the series mirrors the final scene of the first episode, with Lorelei and Rory eating in the diner and Luke behind the counter. Rory's romantic life, as with Lorelei's, Rory's romantic attractions also run throughout the show. Rory meets Dean Forrester in the first episode of the series. The two maintain a relationship for nearly 2.5 years, with Rory rejecting advances from Chilton classmate Tristan Dougray all the while. Rory and Dean break up briefly on their 3-month anniversary date because Rory can't reciprocate Dean's feelings after he professes his love for her. Dean and Rory get back together in the end of season 1. Rory and Dean break up again after Rory falls for the troubled Jess Mariano, Luke's nephew, whom Luke has taken in. Although Jess is reviled by the rest of the town, Rory's deep-seated connection with him is undeniable, and she finds that the two share interests in music and literature and maintain a special understanding of each other throughout the series. There is some anger and unresolved feelings between them a year after their breakup, but they come to friendly terms years later, when Jess attributes Rory's confidence in him for getting his life on track. After Jess leaves town unannounced, Rory reunites with a now-married Dean, which ultimately ends Dean's marriage and creates a short-lived rift between Rory and her mother. Rory and Dean break up when he decides he can't compete with her life at Yale and her new Yale friends, including Logan Huntsberger, whom Rory eventually starts dating. A negative performance review from Logan's publisher father on Rory's future as a journalist causes Rory to temporarily quit Yale, become estranged from her mother, and live with her grandparents. At the wedding of Logan's sister, Rory learns that while the two were on a break months before, Logan had sex with most of his sister's bridesmaids, and she is disgusted at his shocking behavior. Rory moves in with driven, compulsive classmate Paris Geller, but Logan convinces Rory to come back to the apartment that they shared. For Rory's final year at Yale, the couple are in a long-distance relationship due to Logan working for his father's company in London. Eventually Rory graduates Yale, and Logan proposes to her, asking that she move to Silicon Valley with him. Rory reluctantly refuses his offer because she wants to pursue her journalism career and they break up, with Logan saying that it is marriage or nothing. Rory's friendships with longtime best friend Lane Kim, a second-generation Korean American from a strict Christian home, and Paris Geller, a friend rival at both Chilton and Yale, play strongly in the show. Although she shares a close bond with the two, they do not appear to get along with one another. At the end of season 6, Lane marries Hep Alien bandmate Zach Van Gerbig, a sweet, slightly clumsy rocker. At the beginning of season 7, Lane discovers that she is unexpectedly pregnant and gives birth to twins later in the season. Also in season 7, Paris is accepted to Harvard Medical School. In season 4, Doyle McMaster storms onto the show as the Yale Daily News editor. He and Paris start dating in season 5, after Paris's relationship with a much older Professor Asher Fleming ends with Fleming's sudden death. Reception, critical response. Upon arrival, Gilmore Girls was lauded for its distinct dialogue and fused style par creator Amy Sherman-Palladino, the strength of the dynamic familial themes, and the performances of its cast, particularly leading star Lauren Graham. In the San Francisco Chronicle review of the first season, John Carman says, "It's cross-generational, warm the cockles viewing, and it's a terrific show. Can this really be the WB, niche broadcaster to horny mall rats?" Newsday says in reviewing the show, the way in which Gilmore Girls digs lightly but firmly into deep-seated emotion is as magical as the way Lorelei's yellow dream daisies end up scattered all over their town. We weekly wish we were there. In the Orlando Sentinel review of the second season premiere, Critic Hal Brodecker writes series creator Amy Sherman-Palladino writes clever dialogue and ingratiating comedy, but she also knows how to do bittersweet drama. That Gilmore Girls is a touching comedy is also a tribute to the actors, led by the luminous Graham. The Gilmore family is one television clan worth knowing, and that can't be said too often these days. The AV Club included in November 2009 the episode They Shoot Gilmore's, Donia Euro unregistered trademark They on its list of the best TV episodes of the decade. Ken Tucker from Entertainment Weekly rated the seasons 1 to 6 and the last season C. He wrote that Lorelei and Rory Gilmore combined with Sherman-Palladino's protean gift for cultural references in some cross between Mystery Science Theater 3000 and Ulysses, made you live each week in an old world with a fresh coat of words. He described the last season as a death blow season, which was more accurately Gilmore Ghosts, as the exhausted actors bumped into the furniture searching for their departed souls and smart punchlines, but concluded the previous seasons were 6 seasons of magnificent mixed emotions, with performances as shaded as a spot under a star's hollow elm tree. Gilmore Girls was listed as one of Time magazine's all-time 100 TV shows. Entertainment Weekly put it on its end of the decade best of list, saying, "Thank you, fast-talking Lorelei and Rory Gilmore, for suggesting moms and teenage daughters really can get along. All it takes is love, patience, and copious quantities of coffee." Alan Sapinall included the show in his Best of the 2000s in Comedies list, saying, "It got on the air thanks in part to a coalition of advertisers looking for family-friendly programming, and Gilmore offered up an unconventional but enormously appealing family, Mom Lorelei Gilmore and teen daughter Rory, so close in age that they often seemed more like sisters, plus the wealthy parents Lorelei split from after getting pregnant at 16. As the quippy, pop culture quoting younger Gilmores were forced to reconnect with their repressed elders, creator Amy Sherman-Palladino got plenty of laughs and tears out of the generational divide, and out of showing the family Lorelei created for herself and her daughter in the idealized, Norman Rockwell-esque town of Stars Hollow. At its best, Gilmore Girls was pure, concentrated happiness. Awards and nominations. Gilmore Girls received an American Film Institute Award and 2 Viewers for Quality Television Awards, and was named New Program of the Year by the Television Critics Association. The show won an Emmy for its only nomination, 2004's Outstanding Makeup for a Series for the episode The Festival of Living Art. The show's actors have received many awards for their work on the series. Graham won 2 Family Television Awards, and she won Teen Choice Award for Best TV Mom twice. Alexis Bledel won a Young Artist Award and a Family Television Award. The series also won a Family Television Award for New Series, and was named Best Family TV Drama Series by the Young Artist Awards. Ratings. The show was not a ratings success initially, airing in the tough Thursday 8 p.m/7 p.m. Central Time slot dominated by Survivor and Friends in its first season. When it moved to Tuesday, its ratings surpassed its time slot competitor, popular series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which moved to the United Paramount Network but retained the same time slot. It became the WB's 3rd highest-rated show. In its 5th season, Gilmore Girls became the WB's 2nd most-watched primetime show, with viewer numbers that grew by double digits in all major demographics. The following list details the seasonal rankings of Gilmore Girls in the United States. The show rated first in the 18-25 demographic for women and second for men throughout the first 4 seasons. Each U.S. network television season starts in late September and ends in late May, which coincides with the completion of May sweeps. Broadcast history. Gilmore Girls' first season commenced in the Thursday 8 p.m/7 p.m. Central Time slot, as a lead-in for Charmed. Renewed for a second season, the show was relocated on Tuesdays 8 p.m/7 p.m., the time slot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which transferred to UPN, and served as a lead-in for Smallville. In its syndicated release in the United States, the show airs on the ABC Family Channel, and from 2009 to 2013, aired in weekend time slots on their sister network SoapNet, which closed at the start of 2014. First season reruns aired on Monday nights from March until May 2001 while Roswell was on hiatus. An additional run of the first season aired in summer of 2002 on Sunday nights under the title Gilmore Girls Beginnings, and was one of 2 shows on the WB to give the beginnings in its title for reruns. In the United Kingdom, Gilmore Girls was initially screened on Nickelodeon from 2003. It remains the only hour-long series to air there on to date. Only the first 3 seasons were shown, with episodes edited for content and some, like The Big One, dropped entirely. The series was subsequently picked up by the Hallmark Channel, which gave UK premieres to seasons 4 and 5, and E4, which continues to show all 7 seasons in rotation, with occasional cuts to render it suitable for its early time slot. On January 16, 2012, Gilmore Girls aired its final episode on UK channel E4. All 7 seasons are now being aired, unedited, on 5. In Brazil and Mexico, the show premiered in November 5, 2000 on Warner Channel. Then it was shown boomerang across Latin America. DVD releases, Warner Brothers. Home Entertainment has released all 7 seasons of Gilmore Girls on DVD in Region 1, 2, 4. All seasons are available for digital download on the iTunes Store, Amazon.com and other digital sales websites. Seasons 4 through 7 are also available in HD on iTunes Store. Books, 4 books for young adults, which adapted scripts for episodes in the first and second seasons into novel form from Rory's first-person point of view and included bonus diary content which included publicity photos from the series, were published by HarperCollins's Harper Entertainment TV tie-ins imprint, Like Mother, Like Daughter by Catherine Clark. One Love You, You Idiot by Kathy East Dubowski. One Do, Don't I? By Catherine Clark, The Other Side of Summer by Amy Sherman-Palladino and Helen Pye. Coffee at Luke's, an unauthorized Gilmore Girls Gab Fest, The Gilmore Girls Companion by A.S. Berman, references. External links, official website, Gilmore Girls at the Internet Movie Database.